This is a disease I had for 10 years without a cure. Everybody told me there was no cure. And in 90 days, I healed myself by accident using the technology that I was putting together.
If you have a chronic disease in the family, that usually affects the whole family, affects the way that you can enjoy life. So now we are talking about, not only how many years can we live, but also the quality of that life is what matters.
The top 4 things that Qi Coils work for: pain management, inflammation, meditation, sleep, and energy. Those 4 things are a slam dunk every time somebody uses a Qi Coil. And that's like the 4 things that everybody is suffering from these days.
Today, we're going to talk about how to increase Qi energy in your body. We're going to talk about Qi Coil device you may have heard about. And we will talk about this because there are many terms that people hear all the time. And sometimes it's really confusing. So you hear about PEMF, you hear about right frequencies, energy medicine, frequency medicine. And while a lot of people live in that world, for some of them, it may be super confusing. Some people are very skeptical and they're wondering, is it actually working? If it is, why is it working? How is it working? So I thought it would be a good idea to bring an expert to you who can explain and decipher some of these for your success. And I want to tell you, for people who are watching for the first time and maybe you don't know what Polish Your Life is, who Polish Your Life group represent, we are here because there are a lot of people who go from doctor to doctor. They follow recommendations and sometimes they still don't get better. I believe this is wrong. This is a big problem. So we are here to help. So we are searching all across the globe right now, because right now we are in Canada, and we are searching for the best providers, for the best therapies, for the way that integrative medicine can bring people together, but also technologies together. So today we're going to be talking about technology. And this is very promising because we can hope for better clinical outcomes. And while we are sharing information, I want to give a disclaimer to all of you. We are not treating anything with this video. We are not giving advice. We are simply sharing information because we believe you need to know what's up. You need to know what's happening, what can possibly help you. In that context, I'm very, very excited to introduce to you our guest. I connected with him recently in LA in person, but we were in the same biohacking circles and knowing the same people. Very, very exciting because he is the inventor of Qi Coil technology. He is a very passionate person who is combining all the ancient, traditions through modern technology, also with healthcare. And I think this is very good to bring to you somebody who combines passion, technology, and healthcare. In that intersection, we have David Wong. David Wong, welcome to Polish Your Life.
Glad to be here, Mike. Thanks for that amazing introduction.
Well, thank you. This is, I am also interested, as I'm researching you, I'm also interested where this interview is going to lead us. I'm interested in these technologies. This is important because many people are looking for hope. Many people are looking for something that will actually work, and they also want to know why it's working. So I wanted to touch base, maybe touch on an important part, which is your own story and your own passion. How did it all start that you're in this space?
Right. So I was chronically ill for 10 years of my life. I had ulcerative colitis. If you're familiar with that, it's a digestive disorder. You're constantly bleeding internally.
Yeah.
So needless to say, you're debilitated. You can't really go out of the house. You have no energy. You have brain fog. You can't focus. You're always in a bad mood because you're losing blood and you're losing life force on an everyday basis. So that was my life. I tried all sorts of different medication. Nothing worked. Even naturopathic, acupuncture, herbs, they didn't really help me that much. So I thought I was going to live with this condition for my whole life until I started to get into my meditation and my spiritual life. And I was looking for ways to enhance my meditation. And I started to research into frequencies, experiment with different things, eventually led me into frequency technology, which I created later into a Qi Coil. And in long story short, in 90 days, I healed myself completely from my disease. Wow. So this is a disease I had for 10 years without a cure. Everybody told me there was no cure. And in 90 days, I healed myself by accident using the technology that I was putting together.
Wow, this is the type of accidents that is super positive. So tell us how is it even possible? Because obviously, you know, for a lot of people struggling, they have been through sometimes decades of finding, you know, resources, finding hope, and then they watch somebody. It's an interview on YouTube or wherever they're watching, or maybe they're listening, and now they hear a story that somebody can heal themselves in 90 days from something that they are struggling for decades. How is that even possible? And again, we are not claiming that that can happen to you watching or listening. Just explain the science behind it, please.
Well, the way that I did it is very new. And conventionally, people think that our bodies function through chemical reactions, which it does. But then chemical reactions is not the only thing that can change your body. There's been a lot of research done on frequencies, sound frequencies, light frequencies, magnetic frequencies, and even subtle wave frequencies. But we're going to focus more on the magnetic and sound frequencies because that's what my technology is mainly using. So scientists have discovered that frequencies can actually change the way that our brain works, change the ways that our cells operate. So there's been a lot of research done on PEMF therapy for the last 80 years. Even NASA was involved in that, showing that low level or low frequency magnetic waves can enhance cell regeneration. It can assist with arthritis, anxiety, sleep issues, regeneration and bone healing, even tissue healing, as well as like hundreds of other different things. So this is already proven. This is already widely accepted. But the thing is that most people are still relying on the old model, which is to use chemicals, which is pills, supplements, medication. And the other model is surgery, which is just cut it off or put in a bolt or put in some piece of metal or remove something from your body, which is how we've been doing for the last 100 years. But more people are waking up to the fact that that is archaic. It's actually barbaric. That type of healing, because now with frequency, like I was just watching Star Trek, they've been doing this on Star Trek for years. They were just using frequencies to heal people, but now we are waking up to the fact that actually frequencies do heal, and you don't need to cut into the body, you don't need to take a pill, you don't need to take a supplement, and you can use frequencies to go deep into your cells and to change the way they work. Improve the energy production or ATP production, enhance their regenerative abilities. And the key thing is inflammation. So that's what really helped with me, because the moment I started using the device that I created, when I turned it on, just as an experiment, I felt something in my gut right away. So I said, whoa, I never felt this before. Something's happening. I don't know if this is actually healing me or not, but I can feel it in my gut. And then I just
What did
kept
you
doing
feel?
that for
What
90
type of
days.
feeling was it?
It's kind of like a pressure, a little bit like somebody's like kind of like it's kind of like a massage. It's kind of like I felt like there's some kind of I don't know, magnetic energy there. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but I felt
But not
something.
not pain, not tingling, but
No,
just
it wasn't pain. It was felt like it felt like just somebody was holding it. You know, when
okay.
somebody holds your hand, you feel pressure on it, like holding it firmly. It kind of felt like that in my gut, but inside.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I definitely felt it. And then we have thousands of customers, and they experience the same thing. So these frequencies are able to travel deep into the body, into the organs, and it was able to reduce my inflammation, which is what causes the bleeding. And the more I used it, the symptoms went away day after day after day. 90 days later, I was completely healed. I never regressed. And now I can eat basically anything I want. When you have ulcerative colitis, you can't eat a lot of stuff. You have to have a very strict diet, because if you eat something wrong, you're going to be suffering for the next week.
I saw the video that you posted about that, and it's really fascinating. Also, it tells me that you really understand people in that situation because you've been there. And it's easy to say and easy to talk about different regenerative properties and protocols, etc., for people who have no idea what the patient or client is going through, but you've been through that and you know what it means. So what I want to focus on is not only what we are doing, how is it working, but also what does it mean to a family? Because if you have a chronic disease in the family, that usually affects the whole family, affects the way that you can enjoy life. So now we are talking about, not only how many years can we live, but also the quality of that life is what matters. We need
Yeah.
to be able to enjoy our life. So that is very, very impactful. I'm sure your life has changed quite a bit because of that.
Oh, that's an understatement. So, since I healed myself, my life was completely different because I had the energy now and I had no more pain. I didn't have the disease anymore. And now I have this technology, this device that I created using software and using a coil. And I said, I gotta get this to my mom because she needs it. I gotta get this to my dad, and they used it. And then my friends and so on. And then since I have a business background, I said, why don't I just develop a company and make this available to the masses so that they can experience the healing that I did. So that's my mission, is to heal the world together. So we work with medical professionals or just average people or families, as you said, and we just want to heal everybody. We just want to heal together and help each other heal.
This is
And what you were
awesome.
saying about how it transforms a family, and absolutely it does, because when somebody's debilitated, you need somebody to take care of them.
Yeah.
And they're usually not in a good mood. They have no energy. They're grumpy most of the time because they just don't have energy, because they have so much uh, life force that's being sucked away from their disease. And once you remove that draining, then you start building life force. You start to accumulate it. And then eventually you become so full of it, you start to overflow. And that's when you start to help others. And that's when you start to help others fill up and heal and change their lives. And I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah, this is the meaning of life. Like we talk about contribution, we talk about gratitude. So if we are grateful for our own healing and now we can kind of like pass the baton to somebody else and also help them create more life force, or maybe through that life force create something positive in the life. I agree with you. This is this is fantastic. That's the purpose of life, and it's also how lives should be lived by a lot of people, because I think too many people are focusing on the person in the mirror only, but that person means something to the world. And even if you have limited family, maybe a small circle of friends, you can still do a lot for others if you choose to. So I appreciate you. And after our conversations, I also know that you are thinking about, a bigger picture and what it means to societies overall, not just, one person at a time. This is very good. That's why I want to support you. I wanted to ask you also, how does that relate to other therapies and other terms that maybe other people are familiar with? And also, how is it different? So for example, PEMF, right? How does a typical PEMF mat compare to Qi Coil? And then, so what are the similarities? What are differences? And the same I wanted to ask you about Rife frequencies and Rife devices.
Right. Yeah. So those are the two main things that people understand, is PMF and Rife. So let's talk about PMF first. So first of all, here's one of our Qi coils. Okay, here's a Qi coil Max. This is unlike any other. It looks like nothing else out there. It's definitely not a mat. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So a mat, a mat. A lot of people use mats. There's a lot of mixed results. Mats, you have to lie down on them. You have to be on top of them. They have coils that are on one layer of coils. So there's a wire about like 1 millimeter or less thick, and they wind it in one layer like a pancake. All right, and they put it on maybe a few places on the mat. So the problem with that kind of configuration, with the wires being this thin and the layers being this thin, is that you don't get a very strong magnetic field. That's why you have to lie down on it. You have to be basically in contact with it. The field is not strong enough. So that's the main thing. And also they only have usually maybe 10 frequencies. They'll have 8, maybe 10, and then 15, and maybe a few other frequencies. So, there's some good mats out there, but the main difference is here's the coils and here's the windings on our Qi Coil Max. This can reach 20 feet. You hear that? 20 feet. So if you put this in a room, you don't need to touch it. You can be close to it, or you can be just anywhere in the room, and you will get that magnetic energy. Okay, so that's number one big difference, is the range and the power. Number two is the frequencies. We have over 10,000 frequencies on our console, right? And on our software. So we have the most frequencies out of any system. Because what we do is we go beyond PEMF, because PEMF only goes from 0 to 30 hertz. They work with the VLF, the very low frequency range. And then, rightly so, because that's where all the research has been done. But now there's more research done on frequencies higher than that, from 30 up to 20,000 hertz, which is where a lot of the Rife frequencies exist. So traditionally, you see a lot of Rife machines. Basically, they're playing a frequency. Dr. Rife and many other scientists discovered many sequences of frequencies that can target specific things in the body. So for example, back pain, they can target that. Parasites, they can target a parasite. There's 10,000 different things. People ask me, what about for arthritis? What about for this? What about this? Yes, we have it. It's in our program. We didn't create this. We just curated these frequencies that scientists have been using for the last 80 years. So those frequency range is higher than 30. So we go from 30 up to 22,000. So I'm one of the pioneers that actually combined PEMF with Rife and put it together. Because traditionally, Rife machines were using gas tubes with argon gas or neon gas or whatever gas in there, kind of like the tube in the guitar amplifiers that people used to use, or they still use, and they use that to generate a frequency like a radio signal. And they use that to get the frequency into the body. Then later on, people came up with these TENS machines, the electrical current. So to send a small current of energy through these sticker pads or these electrodes that you have to hold on to. So you have to make physical contact. So that's how they were sending the frequencies in the body. So I'm one of the first people who figured out that why not use electromagnetic coil that is very powerful and condenses the energy, and send the frequencies in the body that way, using magnetic waves, without contact, completely wireless, completely non-invasive, and also very powerful. Okay, so that's the second reason. Okay, the third reason is we actually combine many other technologies into there. So we have PEMF, pulse electromagnetic field therapy, Rife frequencies. Number three, we also have crystals in here. So you have crystal resonance therapy. And these also, if you turn them high enough, generate ozone. So they actually create electrical charge in the air, create negative ions and ozone. So you can't really do that with all the other things I'm talking about. So and you probably already noticed already, why is the shape like this? Well, this is called a torus. And the tokamak fusion reactors, basically all the fusion reactors that they're developing now are in this shape. Why are they in this shape? Because this is the shape of the universe and the shape of nature that naturally focuses and recycles energy. And metaphysically, that's the shape of our chakras. Our chakras are in shape of spiraling vortex. So basically, we have emulated the shape of nature's own energy. We call it Qi, the shape of nature's energy. We look at whirlpools, we look at the stars, galaxies, we look at corals, we look at sunflower. They all have this Fibonacci spiraling shape. That's what's used to create our Qi coils. So that's the big one. This is the mini. All right. And what I discovered was that if you wind them in different directions, you get a little different feeling. And that's why there's yin and the yang. So, the ancients talk about yin and the yang for thousands of years. And now I'm actually able to replicate yin and the yang energy with our yin and yang coils. If you look closely, this is our Qi Coil 3 system. And
Mhm.
here's the yin and here's the yang. You see they go different directions. So when you have yin and yang, one will be more relaxing and expansive. The other one will be more focused and condensing. You can feel the difference, which is very interesting because that's exactly what yin and yang philosophy is about.
Do they always have to be used together, or somebody can be using just one of them, not having the other one?
You can just use one if you want. So there's different configurations you can use our systems with, and this is where people kind of find it very interesting. Is you can use just the yin, you can
Hmm.
use just the yang by itself, you can use them together at the same time. Put the yang on your right hand, put the yin on your left hand. It enhances both the yin and the yang in your body. Okay, and
Got
it
it. So
creates
using
a
one of them would not cause harm because it's incomplete. It's just using the second one gives you additional power, but using only one is not problematic, right?
no, it's not problematic.
Got it.
You just get a different experience. Just get a different
Mm-hmm.
experience. So let's say you want to like focus and you want to go for a sprint, then you use the yang. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you want to relax and recharge and open up and that you use the yin. If you want to have that ultra balance, the ultra calm, you use both. Okay, you
Okay.
get that ultra like it's like you're in the middle of a hurricane, the eye of the storm. That's the feeling you get. You have all this energy going around you, but not everything's still in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
the
That's a good
sensation.
analogy.
So those are three configurations, but we have another configuration, which is to combine it with sound therapy. So our frequencies, a lot of our frequencies are actually also sound therapy. I'll let you listen to it for a second. Okay, so this is one of my frequencies. When people hear this, they say they're getting a brain massage. You can feel it's kind of like a brain massage, right?
Yeah, I
Okay,
feel it.
you can feel it, right? So you can play that while also connecting it to a coil. So right now the coil and the speaker is connected together. So you get the sound therapy and you get magnetic therapy. So that's another configuration. You add another layer of frequencies into your session.
Wow. So
Yeah.
we are talking about different mechanisms of delivery of these frequencies, right? So I'm just gonna let you know how I understand it, and I want to make sure that we are giving people a good picture of what it is. So you're not inventing frequencies. You're taking the frequencies and you're basically taking the technologies that were already existing. And what you did is you created a different delivery mechanism that is more powerful. It allows us to deliver it multiple different ways. And also, you're using the science and the knowledge and the experience of, for example, the Rive devices, and now you're being able to integrate this technology into yours and then amplify it by not only having more power, but also being able to use multiple different delivery systems versus just one, right? Because we're talking about audio and the magnetic or electromagnetic, right?
Yeah. So that's basically it, but there's more. So
Okay.
we have the right frequencies, which is 10,000 plus frequencies, but we also have our own proprietary quantum frequencies. Okay. So these are like one you just heard is one of them. So these are four-dimensional frequencies. And we use certain algorithm and software to create these frequencies. And we call them the world's most powerful meditation frequencies because there's nothing out there like that. Like, for example, we can actually emulate, let's say, any substance. Let's name a substance like DMT, for example. That's popular, or vitamin C or whatever. Okay. We can actually take the geometric model of that, put it into our software, spin it three-dimensionally, and then extract the frequencies that come out and make a frequency from it. So
Wow.
that's what
So
we've done with,
how is your body going to react to this? Will think that you're getting vitamin C and will have the same effect without getting it, or how does it work?
that's the concept. Yes.
Wow. So what if somebody, so hypothetically, I'm just going to go crazy with my thought process here. Hypothetically, let's say you were able to replicate food, right? Different types of food, and then you're not giving the actual substance to my body. So chemically, you're not giving me, and physically you're not giving me the substance, but my body thinks that it's eating. So where is the border? Like, because it seems like it's almost impossible to achieve some results here, and now you're telling us that your body can think that this is food and will actually use it as food because we are frequencies.
Mhm.
So where is the border that we actually need the physical component with it, or maybe we don't need it, like Wim Hof is using some, magical powers of that deep meditation and the power of tapping into that energy. Even
Mhm.
if physically it makes no sense, he is able to do it, right?
Yeah. So that's the big paradigm shift, is that do our bodies actually need physical substance, or does it only need energy? That's the question, right? That's the big shift. So conventionally speaking, say, okay, we need to eat food. We need to take this chemical into our body in order to affect other chemicals in our body and make a chain reaction. But is that really true? Is that the only way to do it? Well, if you study Fritz Albert Popp, he's a scientist, and he found that you can use electromagnetic signals to trick your cells into thinking that it's getting a chemical. Because all it is, because your chemicals communicate, I mean, your cells actually communicate to each other and to through your systems through electromagnetic signals. Your brain actually communicates, and your DNA actually communicates to your whole body through electromagnetic signals. So that was discovered. So if we can actually basically hijack or hack that signal, we call it, we're talking about hacking, right? Biohacking now. If we can hack those biological electromagnetic signals, we can hack the signals and the instructions that go to your cells or go to your brain. And we can change what they do. We can change what they do with just these signals. We don't need a chemical.
So maybe it's the other way around than I was thinking. So it's maybe it's not that the signal is going to be transformed into a physical manifestation of that signal, but maybe it's the other way around, is that we are taking the food and we are taking different substances that affect our cells to then be converted to the electric signal and frequencies, and maybe the frequencies are the product that is important, not the chemicals and physical particles.
Yes, that's basically it. Yeah, if you
That would
think
be
about it,
awesome,
like,
because that makes me super optimistic about the, like, all the things. I don't want to go too deep here, but like, even life after life, because that would mean there's basically we are energy beings, which means that energy does not ever stop. It just changes the form.
yeah, energy is eternal. The soul is eternal, right? So that's the concept. And I have technology that can show you and prove to you that that is true beyond what I'm showing you today, but we can talk about it some other time. But just talking about the coils, okay, let's go back. Let's backtrack a little bit. Back to PEMF therapy, okay? So we can use it. How do you use it? For example, you can just wear it on your neck like this with this lanyard. This Qi Coil Mini has a field 3 feet wide, so it'll cover the whole body. You can just put it in front of your table. And then we've had customers use this who had 30 years of back pain that he couldn't heal. He had an injury that was never healed. And he had some kind of disc that was slipped or some kind of spine problem. And he used this for 90 days. And after that, he was completely healed and he's walking and there's no more pain. Okay. So the top 4 things that Qi coils work for: pain management, inflammation, meditation, sleep, and energy. Those 4 things are a slam dunk every time somebody uses a Qi coil. And that's like the 4 things that everybody is suffering from these days. And that most people need help with, right? People can't sleep. They have low energy. They have chronic fatigue. They have pain somewhere in the body that they can't get rid of. And they can't focus. They can't meditate. And they feel anxiety or they feel stress. So our Qi coils is a slam dunk for all 4 of those things.
Wow. Very powerful. And it's also, almost unbelievable, because when we talk about physical versus not, right? So if there is a physical problem, that's something that a lot of people will give us a big block, including myself. I am trying to wrap my head around the fact that, for example, if there is a slip disc issue, if there is a disc compression, if there is a physical compression of that disc on the nerve, which causes a symptom, i.e. back pain,
Mm-hmm.
how is the energy gonna help here? Is the energy gonna block the signal so I'm not feeling the pain? Or is the energy actually able to heal the problem and somehow move the matter to its original position?
Right. So our bodies have a optimal state. Okay. We all have this optimal state. And that optimal state has a frequency. It has a voltage. You can actually measure it. You measure the voltage, and it also has frequency. And all our cells and every system in our body has an optimal frequency. So the reason that there's pain, the reason that somebody has an injury is because that went out of alignment. So we simply just retune the body back to its optimal frequency. We're giving the body the instructions to heal itself, and giving the body the energy, the electromagnetic energy that will stimulate the cells or stimulate those processes in the body to heal itself. So we're not anymore reliant on somebody else, right? We're not reliant on some external chemical, as we talked about, or external, like, I mean, those things are, if you get a massage, go to a chiropractor, that's going to help. But ultimately, using frequencies is the most non-invasive way to retune your whole body to its optimal frequency.
That is really fascinating. So we are actually bringing back the power of the thermostat, right? So if our thermostat is to have optimum health, and that has a frequency, if you're doing something on that energetic level that will help us get closer to this, it's almost like our body will know where the problem is to get it closer, basically to reverse the problem, to get it closer to optimal state. Am I understanding it right?
Yeah. So is it the chicken or the egg, right? What comes first? Do you heal yourself first and then you become in a higher optimal frequency, or do you become an optimal frequency, then it heals yourself? Well, it happens at the same time.
Almost
So
doesn't matter, because
it doesn't matter. It happens at the
wrong.
same time. It can go either way. It can go either way, right? So why not do it the easy way, which is to expose yourself to this positive frequency and just let your body follow. That's the easy way. You don't have to put in any effort.
Interesting. Tell me, for example, we look at Wim Hof biohacking his body to the point where science was telling us that certain things are impossible, and right now they need to really carefully think what to put in these journals and the scientific research, what is possible, what is not, because they, like, he's able to control his autonomic nervous system. He was not supposed to. His immune system, he's not supposed to consciously control it. His body temperature, which is not only Wim Hof, because we are talking about other people who are able to meditate that deep and affect their body. That is not only started by him, but tell me a little bit more about that Qi energy. What are we talking about here? What is that energy? How do you understand it, and how do you explain it to people? Qi energy.
Right. Well, Wim Hof's meditation, most of it is from Tumo, right? They're done by the Himalayan monks to stay warm in the Himalayan mountains. And they were able to, and this was studied a long time ago, way before Wim Hof. But Wim Hof was the one that kind of like proved it scientifically when people studied him. So Qigong and this kind of meditation have been around for thousands of years. And people have this kind of like pushed it aside because they thought it was a fake, or they're just making it up. But now we know scientifically it can be done. And the basic principle is that you can, it's mind over matter is the basic principle. If you can control your mind, and you can control your body, you can help them work together in a way that can elevate you to superhuman status, or give you superhuman abilities. I don't think they're, like, we call them superhuman now, but actually every human can do it.
He had students who had no experience with this, and he basically taught them the method, and they were able to undergo some of the same protocols with the same results.
So we are all superhuman, because we can all do what Wim Hof can do. And I've done Wim Hof myself, and the coils, what they can do is they can accelerate that process, because it's the same thing. In your Wim Hof practice, you are doing a lot of breath work. You're doing push-ups. You're doing the cold showers. You're doing the ice baths, right? basically it's forcing your body to be able to control the flow of heat and control the flow of we can call it the qi or even the blood circulation in your body. So you're getting control of your autonomic nervous system, like you said. So that can be done through that practice. But you can do it also with Qi coils, because the Qi coils will give you, will kind of unlock that Qi energy inside your body. Because when you're doing the breathing, you're actually activating that Qi energy. You're activating the, well, that's basically what it is. You're activating the Qi energy in your body. I don't know how else to explain it. Mm-hmm. So when you do use the Qi coils, it does the same thing. And you can feel the same thing. A lot of people feel like electric, or they feel hot, or they feel like tingly sensations, or they feel like their mind expanded, their awareness is expanded. They feel like they hear better, they see better, they smell better, they taste better.
Can you do too much? So for example, if we are talking about getting to the optimum state, right? And now we are using positive frequencies, because I'm sure there are frequencies that are negative, right? That can affect our body in an adverse effect, have an adverse effect. And there are some positive frequencies. That's the ones that you are promoting. But then can you do too much of the positive ones?
Yes. So that's not.
So how would you know? How would you know if that's happening to you?
Basically, Herxheimer effect. So you have a healing crisis. So if you use too much of the coils, you may feel nauseous, and you may feel very tired and thirsty, and you will also feel a little bit dizzy. So it's just the same effects if you detox or you have a healing crisis. But all you need to do is just take a break, relax, and then you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. So that's when you know. It's like when you drink too much water. Once you had enough, you know you had enough. You don't need to drink more. But if you keep forcing yourself to drink it, then you're gonna get a stomachache.
Of course, and that's dangerous too. If we like go to extremes, yeah, that's dangerous too. So okay, so that's very good to know. So there are certain symptoms that people need to be aware that if they're using the positive frequencies, and maybe they just get a little bit too excited about this and they start using it a little bit too much. If they start experiencing these symptoms, so you talk about nausea, thirst, right? So they can be, and then lack of energy, or what else? What was
Not lack of energy, just kind of like tired after you've had the energy. So it boosts your energy, and then afterwards you might get tired because you've detoxed so much toxins in your bloodstream, and then you need to flush it out, and you may feel a little bit fatigued from that. But that usually only lasts 1 or 2 days. But it's a good thing because you're detoxing all the toxins and the bad stuff in your body. And then after that, you're cleansed out, and you'll feel a lot better. So people are probably asking, well, if that's the case, how long is a good dose? So the dosage is determined by how strong the field is and how long you use it. So you increase the field energy by turning up the volume, or by using a bigger coil. If the stronger the energy, then the bigger dose. The longer you use it, then the bigger dose. So if you want to use it for 10 to 20 minutes a day, great. Just turn it up to about 75% power, and you can just use it for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and that's all the energy you need for that day. If you want to play it 24 hours a day, just put it on a low setting, and you can have it broadcasting 24 hours a day in the house. Mm-hmm. And now everybody in the house is going to get that therapy and get that energy. So that's the neat thing about our technology is that people say, oh, it's so expensive. It's $399. And say, well, what are you talking about? It's expensive. Think about it. Okay. You can use this as much as you want for the next 10 years because there's no moving parts. You can use this for a long, long time. Plus, you don't have to refill it. It's not like a supplement or a drug that you have to refill. Thirdly, everybody in your family can use it. So you got 4 people in your family plus pets. What? That's like 6 entities that are using this. You can divide the cost by 6, right? And it's unlimited. You can use as much as you want. You can turn it on and off anytime you want, and it's portable. And you can try. So people when they realize that, okay, yeah, I'm actually going to buy the higher system now because I know this is going to be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, in the concept of integrative healthcare, we are talking about integrating different therapies, different providers, and we are talking about integrating different modalities. You also mentioned that you have this big Qi Coil that is for a house or an office, right? So I know we are talking about clinical use of that in different facilities.
Mhm.
Who are some of the providers that you found from your experience this is working, like your favorite type of collaborating partners? Because I'm trying to figure out how can we as a group, how can we help you on that mission? And at the same time help all the providers. So who should we be connecting you with?
Well, chiropractors, they're loving my technology. They're getting some amazing results with it. They're using it themselves as chiropractors to give themselves more energy while they're doing their practice and reduce stress and relieve their own pain, as well as their clients. And they're using it in a couple of ways. So for example, here's what we call a Qi Coil Aura. And this is 24 by 24. It looks small back there, but let me actually go back there and show you how big this is. That's how big it is.
Mm.
I can even bring it up to this camera. You can see the size of this, okay? So this is something that you can put in an office or you can put under a bed, and it'll turn any bed or massage table, even a chair, into a med bed. And the power from this is so intense and so strong that you can use it to cover 3,000 square foot of space. All right, so as I explained, you can use this in short bursts. So let's say somebody is here, they only have 10 minutes. You can turn it up to 75%. You got short burst of frequencies. You can select a frequency for weight loss. You can select frequency for pain. You can select a frequency for energizing or detox or parasites, and you'll get that program, and that's all you need, 10 to 15 minutes. Or you can have this playing in your office and play at like 25% or 10%, and then you'll blanket that office or cover that office with energy. All your employees, all the customers will get a microdose boost of energy. Let's say you program it for regeneration or program it for Qi energy. You're going to get this microdose of energy boost for everybody who is in the vicinity. So those are two ways of using it. A lot of them are also using our Qi 3 system, which is very good for professionals. The Qi 3 system. So this is something you can just, the client can hold while they're doing it during the session, or you can just put it next to the bed or put it on the problem part of their body, the back, knee, whatever. And this is doing wonders with their clients. So chiropractors, they're the ones that are benefit huge right now from it. And the cost is very low compared to the other equipment that they have. I was down in LA. This guy had a $1.3 million machine in their office for something to do with some neural brain stimulation or something like that. And then their stem cell is what, $2,000 a stem cell treatment, just one for the customers, right? This is something that you can use in the office, or you can become a distributor and people can just buy it through your link, and then chiropractors can make recurring income from that. And we have lots of chiropractors doing that now.
Interesting. So chiropractors watching this, keep in mind that you can connect with David, and David will put your link in the description of the video or in the comments below, because I think it's important for people who have questions to not only comment below the video, but maybe there are some questions they would like to ask you directly and have a contact with you. So this is great. Anything you would like to add before we go? Something that maybe is an interesting, either a story or maybe something that people don't know, but they should know?
Well, I think we're all starting to wake up to the fact that everything's frequency, right? Nikola Tesla said everything's frequency, energy, and vibration. And that's what I've been researching, studying, and developing over the last just 4 years. And we've seen so many success stories. We have over 10,000 customers. We have thousands of reviews. And the more I do this, the more I keep waking up to the fact that that's so true. Because now we have technologies that are just pure frequencies that we can send to people, and they can feel it right away. Like, I was just talking to an astronaut, okay, last week. She's a real astronaut. And then she said, she's also a painter. And she doing some kind of artwork related to quantum entanglement, which is very interesting. And then I told her, well, did you know that I'm also a scientist with quantum entanglement? I developed technologies and artificial intelligence that can actually quantum entangle people's phone with an energy, with the energy frequency. And I said, really? How does it work? And I said, okay, well, let me just show you. Instead of explaining it, I'll show you. So what I did was I used my artificial intelligence, and then I connected with her phone. She got a verification code. She gave me the verification code. So after I got that connected, I sent her a frequency through her phone. And then in 30 seconds, she said, oh my God, I can feel it. I feel so hot. Right? And then I said, okay, what else do you feel? So I don't know. I just feel like I want to like get up and exercise. So, okay, let me turn it off. And then she said, okay, I can still feel it. And I said, yeah, because there's a resonance to it. You'll feel it for the next 5 to 10 minutes. And then she was completely blown away. And she said, this is crazy, David. Now you have space age technology. This is something that, if I go missing tomorrow, now you know why. Because Big Pharma doesn't want you to know about this stuff I'm doing. Okay. The government, Big Pharma, they don't want you to know about what I'm doing right now.
Wow. This is so fascinating. It's beyond my comprehension even, but I'll tell you, I'm rooting for you. I'm very happy that you're part of our circles. I'm very happy that you invented Qi Coil. I'm happy that you are connecting with people, and man, more power to you. We need more people like you, inventing stuff like this, disseminating the knowledge, educating people. And it's also very optimistic, because as we are all searching for solutions, we want to contribute to society. But how can you do it if you're not happy? How can you be happy if you're not healthy? Not easy, right? So I think you're contributing to societies on a much bigger scale than just one life at a time. I think there is a cumulative effect here. I appreciate you. Certainly a lot of people appreciate you. Tell people where they can find you online, which channels they should follow, where are you, so they can get more information.
Right. Well, my main link where you can find basically everything I do is here, usetheqi.com. In Star Wars, they say, use the Force. Here we say, use the Qi.
usetheqi.com.
usetheqi.com.
This is awesome. Thank you, David. Really appreciate you. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Bye-bye.
Thank you.